Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Crystal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome old subscribers, welcome new. If you like my videos, please press the like button, please share, please subscribe. Thank you for your support. It's a lovely Sunday morning. I can't see the sun out, but it is extremely hot. It's 23.5 degrees in this flat. It's boiling. I struggled to sleep last night. It was sweating, getting up and down, trying to cool myself off. It's really hot even though the sun is not shining this morning. I got up properly about 9, but I've been up and down like a yo-yo all night because I can't sleep in the heat. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. Here's a fun fact for International Left-Handers Day. About 10% of people are lefties, but half of all cats are, which gives new meaning to the term southpaw.
Alexa, what's the time, please?
It's 9:16 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
Today is Sunday the 13th of August.
And Alexa, what's the weather outlook?
Right now in Rochester, it's 19 degrees Celsius with cloudy skies. Today's forecast is intermittent clouds, with a high of 22 degrees and a low of 14 degrees. Also, there's a flood alert in effect.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
What do flamingos say when they're angry? I've had enough. I'm putting my other foot down.
Right, so it's Sunday morning, nothing planned for today, just relaxing, taking it easy, taking each moment as it comes. Obviously I have to take my dog out for a walk at some point, but he's a small tiny dog. He's not a big dog that's going to mess up the flat. He's very tiny, he's smaller than my cats. So he's no problem at all, he's brilliant. So after I came indoors last night, I was basically watching YouTube videos. I put the news on for a bit. I like to keep up to date with the news. However, there's a lot of disturbing, upsetting news about migrants dying, capsizing boats, general things that shouldn't have been allowed to happen really, but have. So I keep up to date with the news. I watch YouTube videos on a regular basis because I'm a YouTuber myself, and I've been watching auditing videos lately, and that's what I've been doing because I'm on my own. I need something to occupy my mind, otherwise I'll be constantly thinking, constantly worrying myself to death. I also thought I'd like to try this plastic pound shop junk, which it should have been. Plastic pound shop junk, maybe £3 at the most. It's cost me nearly £11, and it was broke in the packaging when it arrived. I got it at the weekend. I haven't sorted anything out yet, but this is just ridiculous. I wanted a step exercise machine, and this is just a plastic monstrosity. It really is. It's supposed to help varicose veins. Like when you're sat at a computer, you can stick it under the table. I've got big feet, right? You can't put your whole foot onto it because of it. Why? Because it's going to break, isn't it? It's going to break into bits if you put your whole foot on it. So you're supposed to just sit like at your desk and just do this. But remember, you mustn't put the full force of your foot down because it's going to break. It's going to bust, isn't it? So I've just got to sit and do this, and this is supposed to help varicose veins and give you sexy legs because it's got sexy on the box. This is supposed to give me sexy legs, this is. So, do you see, I didn't understand it. It was advertised as an exercise stepper. And this is not my idea of an exercise stepper. I don't expect much for like £11, but I do it, it's just plastic. And a couple of pieces have come off before I even actually opened the box. There was pieces like loose in there that had come off. That is just being held together. It's going to fall apart. So there you are. Get sexy and healthy leg. You've got to be careful. I've had it from Amazon as well. And how many people have made the mistake of buying a kid's toy because it's advertised as a toaster? And sometimes children's toys are expensive. So one time at my other place where I used to live, I thought I had ordered a toaster. It was the price of a toaster, and I get this kiddie's toaster in the post, this wooden toaster, this toy. Because when you go into Amazon or you go into eBay, there's a big picture, isn't there? And sometimes you get a big picture and it looked like a big toaster. Well, that looked like a big stepping machine. It's not. It's a bit of like £3 plastic that you honestly, you can go into a pound shop or somewhere like that and pick up something like that for £3. And it's just waiting to fall apart. It really is. That's how people make money out of people. They buy something really, really cheap and they sell it at 3 times the price, and that's what I think has happened there. So, where do you get a stepping machine? A real one, not a plastic one. I don't know. I had one at my other place, a metal one. I'd got it from a charity shop, so I'll look out. Sometimes I bought a whole exercise kit for a tenner in a charity shop, and it was brilliant. It wasn't plastic rubbish. So I guess I'll take a look at charity shops. They've got all sorts in there, and they're sold at less price than this cost me. I was just disappointed. I was looking forward to doing a few step exercises, but if I can't do step exercises on that, because it's just going to fall to pieces. Right, Sunday morning, getting ready to obviously go out and take Max for a walk. It is hot, even though the sun isn't out. And let's hear what's on the radio this Sunday morning. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
Andrew Castle on LBC.
With Enterprise, you're in good hands with friendly customer service.
Is uni still a vital part of your plans for the future? Perhaps you're expecting A-level results coming up on Thursday, and if they're difficult, you're going to have to go to clearing. I mean, have you ever thought about not going to university? Or is it just an absolute must? Is it a rite of passage? Do you want the experience? 0345 6060 973. How useful do you suppose it's going to be for future earning, for the training that you need, for the job that you're going to do? I actually haven't got this, but how many university courses... or how many people who go to university don't use the actual degree that they did to get a job? So they don't work in the area of their study at university. I think it's a very, very high percentage. I would have thought. I mean, how many psychologists are there who took psychology, which is a blooming difficult course, by the way? Everyone thinks it's sort of an easier one. It's not at all. So much biology in that. Just a few thoughts really on that. Pretty high dropout rate at the moment after those inflated grades from 3 years ago during COVID. People perhaps going on to courses which they weren't prepared for based on teachers' grades. I was going to get 3 C's, but I got 3 A stars. Funnily enough, I struggled in the course that they put me on, or I attended. Tom's in Chelmsford and Craig's in Singapore. Hello, Tom. How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. University, your thoughts?
Well, I've been listening since the early hours. I couldn't listen to this, the whole university thing without sharing the little story that my late father told me. He worked in the legal services department at the Borough Council.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a certain social worker that was so incompetent that they had to discipline her and she lost her job.
Right.
And she got a job as a lecturer in teaching at the they were doing degrees in social work.
Oh, I see. And she'd been fired from her position.
Yeah, she'd been fired from being a social worker by the council.
Yeah.
She got a job as a lecturer.
Well, there is that
in the university.
there is that old expression, isn't there? If you can't do it, you teach it.
Yeah. So and that is, I mean,
Probably not fair.
that genuinely happened
Yeah.
in this particular.
I see. So,
Yeah.
what about you, Tom? Don't know how old you are. Have you got children? Did you go to university?
I'm 37,
Yes.
childless. I went to university. I didn't complete my degree. I had a great time. It was really good. I met loads of people. I had all kinds of experiences that I would not otherwise have had.
That wasn't
But
bad.
financially, I'd have been better off if I'd gone straight.
Oh, have you got a student debt now? Are you a loan?
I got in just before they put it up. So yeah, I'm not a massive debt, but yeah, I do have a debt. Yeah.
All right, Tom. Thank you very much indeed. We head to the Far East. Craig's in Singapore. Hello, Craig.
Andrew, good morning. Thanks for taking the call.
My pleasure.
I'd like to talk a little bit about this university enrolments from a sort of an Asian perspective. Now, the first point I'd like to make is that many of the Chinese and Southeast Asian students who go to the UK universities are not the best students. They've not been able to reach the grades of attainment for them to have a local university education in places like Singapore, which was mentioned in one of your
Yeah.
commentators earlier.
Yeah.
So the second choice is always, well, we'll look at what's available on the UK, and many of them, the grades are so poor, they have to do an international foundation course. So at universities like Edinburgh and Durham, etc., which are Russell Group universities,
Yeah.
offer foundation programs where a foreign student can go on and spend 6 months, 8 months doing a foundation program, then get assessed, and then get direct entry onto a bachelor, even a Bachelor of Honours degree program in Russell Group universities. Now, the point I want to make is, yes, I think university education in certain cases are very relevant. But the problem is that some universities and Russell Group universities are offering university places on some courses which are being accommodated by 60% foreign students. Now, the problem is, it's very, very naive of the UK to look at displacing students, UK students, who may have missed a grade by, like, let's say, they got a B instead of an A, so they can't get on their programme, and therefore have to look at doing a course that maybe isn't the one that they want to do or is relevant. And the reason is this, because many foreign students are not interested in, say, a Chinese student won't study law. It's irrelevant for them. They don't want to study finance. It's irrelevant to them. So there's a compression of foreign students on degree programs, which are science and engineering, and it's exactly the skill sets that the UK economy would take.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Craig, that's a very, very good point. 9:27 is the time. Appreciate you calling in from Singapore. I hope we speak again. I wanted to talk about these clean air zones once again. Front page of the Telegraph, Labour drops pledge to roll out ULEZ zones. I can imagine at least some of the pressure as to why. Earlier on in the programme, I did ask the Shadow Education Secretary, Bridget Phillipson, about that story. And was it true? Labour looking to ditch clean air zones?
We've got to take action on this as a country, but I do recognise that in the middle of a cost of living crisis, it's tough for lots of people if they're being asked to give up older vehicles. That's why we do need a fair scrappage scheme, and we need to make sure that if these kinds of measures are being put in place, we're not seeing working people suffer even more in the middle of that kind of cost of living crisis. I know it's really tough for people at the moment, but at the same time, we do have to act around clean air, and the next Labour government will bring in a Clean Air Act to improve air quality and to deal with the health consequences.
What's that going to mean for people who drive cars?
As I say, there's a range of ways in which you can take action on air pollution. Of course, one area that has been considered by some councils is the measures that you've been describing. But other areas too, wider traffic management issues, stopping cars idling, the way in which we manage our cities overall. There's an awful lot that we can do. But I am conscious that in the middle of a cost of living crisis, it will be tough for people if you have quite blunt measures that come in quite quickly.
Yeah, you see, so it's all very well breathing in clean air, but if it costs too much to clean up, we're not going to do it, especially during a cost of living crisis. Jeff Gazard, environmental campaigner, joins me. Hello, Jeff.
Morning, Andrew.
Morning. All right.
Well, it wasn't until your researcher told me and made me read the Daily Telegraph, which is not something I normally do.
No, it's not your sort of, your sort of rag, is it?
Well, it is in many ways, because you know me, Andrew. I like to be informed across the spectrum.
Yeah, you'd like to be informed as long as it's what you agree with. Which you should really stick to the Observer and the Guardian, don't you think?
That's not true, Andrew. you don't be so provocative.
Now, what about this then? What about a Labour source has confirmed that the policy had been officially dropped and would not feature in the revised document, which will pave the way to the election manifesto. So this is the National Policy Forum, which sort of lays the foundation. Yeah. So anyway, the point is they're dropping pledges to roll out ULEZ zones. Labour.
Well.
This name is weird to me. ULEZ. It's just weird. ULEZ zones. Right, guys, that's the radio this morning. ULEZ zones they're talking about. I'm just sat in my flat and I'm. Like I said, I've got to take my dog out for a walk shortly. I'll make myself a cup of coffee, going to have a bit of breakfast. I usually have a call from my mother, Jennifer, my mum. I'm not provoked, I'm not angry. I'm a single woman by myself. I don't really have, there's a few females I talk to, but I don't have anyone in my flat, not a man, not a woman. So I'm completely on my own, like solitary. I don't choose specifically to be on my own, but because I've had several on-off relationships with men that have treated me like, pick me up, put me down, I've just decided to stay by myself. And just because a woman stays by herself, it doesn't mean that she's gay. Neither the same way a man who decides he's going to live by himself. It doesn't mean somebody's gay because they live by themselves and are on their own. Maybe they can't find the right partner. Doesn't mean you're gay because you go around by yourself. I just want to find the right guy. I'm not going to have one night stands and endanger my health because someone's pressurising me to, because they're making out that I'm gay. And I'm certainly not gay. And it doesn't mean that I speak to anybody. I mean, I'm not biased and I don't judge people. If somebody wants to be gay, that's absolutely fine. I'm just saying that I am not. That's all I'm saying. Now, like I said, I'm going to get on with the rest of my day. If there's when a decent fella comes along that treats me like a person and not an object they pick up and put down when they feel like it, I'm quite willing. But I'm not being used. And I choose who I want to go out with. You don't send old men to my doorstep, unsuitable men. Now, that doesn't mean someone's gay either. Purposely sending unsuitable men to my doorstep. They ask you, what type of man do you like, Crystal? And they give you the exact opposite. Knowing full well you wouldn't go with that person because they're not your type. That's just being an idiot. I hope everyone has has a lovely weekend. I'm going to get back to watching my YouTube videos and getting ready to walk Max around the Rochester Riverside. But while people continue to be stupid, give me everything I do not want, it's going to stay the same. See you later.